Hello everyone. So in last video, we have created the background of this Pacman game, that is the dots and walls. In case you need the code of putting up these walls, because I understand it is a little cumbersome to create these 40-45 sprites manually. If you want, let me know in comments. I can definitely share the code with you. The code only to create the walls. Other code for your learning purpose, you need to do yourself. Okay. If you need the code of only this putting up this maze and the walls, let me know in comments and I will be happy to share the code with you. Okay, so this is done in the last video where we have created these dots. We also understand about the for loop using which we created these dots, for loop and arrays. What next? Next, we are going to create this Pacman who will eat these dots. You can see the Pacman is eating the dots and the Pacman is not able to go beyond the walls, beyond the maze. So these are the two things that we are going to do in this video session. So let's get started. Okay, so we have everything. What is the first step? As all of you might have guessed it correctly, we need to draw Pacman. So let's start drawing our own Pacman. So to draw a Pacman, first I am going to pick this yellow color. It should be a little bright yellow color. And using this, I will create a Pacman circle. Okay. We have the circle created and I would also want the center of it so that I can draw the lines. So probably this could be the good to take a circle, center and draw the mouth. Something like this. Okay. Take the fill. We don't want this to be filled. So I will take an eraser tool and erase this. Before erasing, I will actually make a copy of it. You will see why. So now I will erase this. Okay, we have our Pacman ready, which is facing towards right hand side. So I will name it as Pacman R and very smartly I will make a copy of it. So I make a copy of it. Now what do I want? I want to make a Pacman that is facing downwards. So to face it downwards, I will simply rotate it. Yes, so this is my facing downwards Pacman. Here also I will simply rotate it. So you can see this is my facing downwards Pacman now. I will rename it as Pacman down. Again, I will make a copy of it smartly. And we will make another side. We will make it looking another direction. So this Pacman is looking up. Yes, so it becomes Pacman up. Again a copy for Pacman left. For left, I am first flipping it and then turn. So it becomes my Pacman left. One flip will be needed here as well. Yes. So it becomes my Pacman left. So I have all the four Pacmans created. Pacman left, Pacman looking up, Pacman looking down, Pacman looking right. So what next? Let's create the sprites. Let's create a Pacman sprite. Let me run it so that I can see the position where I want it to be placed, maybe somewhere here. So 180 and 220, I will try. 20. We will see how much rescaling we need. Okay, first let's give it an animation. Pacman right. Okay, it's big. So let's scale it also. We will see if 0.3 is fine or we need to scale it other. See, it is a case sensitive language. M has to be capital, otherwise your project will scream. 0.3 is also too big, so I will probably make it 0.2 and see how does it look like. Yes, 0.2 looks better. Probably I can make it 0.22. Yes, 0.22 seems perfect. Position, we can make a few pixels down. So I'm making it 225. Yes, perfect. So we have a Pacman who is looking towards right hand side. What next? Next we will start coding. This Pacman should move with my keys. Okay, so you can either code it for left, right, up and down or ASWD as you are comfortable with. I'm going to code it for left, right, up and down keys. So this code will come inside draw function because this is something we want program to keep on executing and keep on checking if any key is pressed. So as a general rule, any kind of events always come inside the draw function. So I will start writing this event. If key down, which key? Right. We can also pick it like this, right arrow. If key down, right arrow, what do we want? We want this Pacman to move towards right hand side, which means the x position of this Pacman should increase. So we will put it something like this. Pacman.x is equals to Pacman.x and plus, let's decide a Pacman velocity. So I am giving it a name as pack velocity, and I will also declare this as a variable here. Why do we need to create a Pacman velocity as a variable? So that in case if you're not liking this velocity, you want your Pacman to move slow or fast, you will just have to change a variable and this will take care. So pack velocity, let me initially give it a value of 5. So this is how we declare a variable. So when key down right arrow, Pacman should move towards the right hand side. Let's see if it is working. Yes, it's working. Okay, similarly, we will write the code for left, right, up and down. Left, up and down. Right is already taken care. So what do we want? When this left arrow is pressed, it should go in the reverse direction. So it means velocity minus direction. Okay, so Pacman x position minus Pacman velocity. We will also would like to change its animation to Pacman looking towards the left hand side. So we will change the animation as well here. Pacman left. I will also change the animation here to the right as well. Okay, because anytime right key is pressed, it should be the animation should be the Pacman which is looking towards the right side. So let's make a copy of it and write the same code for up and down. Up arrow. So for up arrow, we want y velocity, right? Y velocity should be in negative and animation will become Pacman up. Similarly, when we are pressing the down arrow key, the velocity, y velocity should be plus y and my animation will become down. So let's test if my Pacman is moving properly or not, if it is taking all the animations as we want it to take or not. Okay, so up looks good, right, left, and down. Okay, so Pacman is moving nicely. But one another thing, this Pacman should not be able to move above these bars, right? It is able to move above these maze bars, which is not what we want. It should stop from the wall. So what do? We want it to stop from the walls. So we have learned a type of collision, that is collide. If we put a collide between this Pacman and the wall of the maze, the Pacman will not be able to move ahead this wall because it will take the velocity of this particular sprite, which is my wall. So what we will do? We want this Pacman to be stopped by all these maze walls, and we have around 40-45 maze walls. What do we do? Do I have to write it something like this? For every wall, it should collide with Pacman, something like this. Looks very, very, very crazy to do like this. So what we will do? We will create a group. Okay, we will create a group which will contain all the walls. A group of a sprite that contains all the walls. So we will create a group and we will add all the walls sprite to it. And then we will write a code that my Pacman should collide with the walls group. Let me show you how do we do this. So here, before we are declaring these many walls sprite, at the top, before declaring any wall sprite, I am going to create a variable walls. And this variable will be of group type, a group of sprites. So we have this variable walls, and to this variable walls, we will keep on adding all these wall sprites that we have created. So wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, all of them. So let me make a copy paste so that it becomes a little easier. So wall 2, wall 4, wall 5, and so on. You can pause this video here and do this for all the walls. So basically what we are doing here, we are creating a group of sprites and we are adding all our walls to it. What happens when you create a group of sprite, one particular function that you assign to that particular group is actually applied to all the sprites that are part of this group. So if I say that Pacman collide with walls, it means it collides with all the walls, all the wall sprite in part of this particular group. So groups are very useful in creating games. We will have a separate video about the groups where we will do some interesting exercises. If you want, you can take a look at it. Okay, so here I have added all the walls, all these 41 walls to this walls group, which is a group of sprites. And now we will write the code here that my Pacman dot collide with walls. Walls is my group. So what will happen this way? My Pacman collide with all the sprites that are part of this particular group. So I will not have to write pacman.collide vol1, vol2, vol3, vol4 41 times. I will just have to say pacman.collide vols, and it will collide with all the sprites that are part of this group, which we have named as vols. So let me reset, run, and show it to you. See if it is working or not. See, I'm pressing the left right key, but my Pacman is not moving. Yeah, it moves up. Okay, so this is working fine. Very good. It is not able to go beyond this because maybe I will have to reduce the size a little bit. We will see. We will have to reduce the size. So yes, this Pacman is able to move around this maze, but not able to go beyond or not able to go over the walls of the maze. Fine, what next? My Pacman should actually eat these dots. My Pacman should now actually start eating these dots. So let's write the code. So what we will have to see? We will have to see here if my Pacman is touching the dot should destroy. The dot should destroy. So we will start writing the code. But here, see, we have these 225 dots. It is a grid of 15 by 15, so 225 dots. How do we see if the Pacman is touching to any of these 225 dots? So again, what we will do, we will take help of for loop. Again here, we will take help of for loop. So we will say for variable I is equals to 0. I is less than. So how many sprites have been created? How do we know it? So for this, let's move up where we have actually created these dot sprites. So do you see that we have this dots count, and we are increasing it every time my uh, dot sprite is being created, because this is how it is stored inside the array as well. So we will use this count variable here. So my condition will be variable I is equals to 0. I is less than count. Why we are saying I is less than count? Because count is actually a variable that holds the number of these dots sprite. And we will say I plus plus means every time this for loop is executed, the value of I will increase by 1. And then we will check if Pacman dot is touching what dot, but dot I. Okay, if Pacman is touching a dot, so here we are trying to say if my Pacman is touching dot 0, dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, dot 4. So this for loop will take care of everything. If my Pacman is touching any of the dot, this for loop will take care of it. So what do we want? If Pacman is touching the dot I, we want to destroy the dot I. So dot I dot destroy. So I'm seeing this. Okay, so dots. The name of my array is dots. That is why it was giving a yellow warning sign to me. So whenever you see this yellow warning sign, always see what is the problem, why it is giving you a yellow warning sign. So let me reset, run it, and show it to you. Yes, so now my Pacman has actually started eating the dots. I hope you enjoyed this session. In next session is going to be even more excited, because in next session we are going to create the phantoms and we will give them motion so that they keep on moving here and there. So stay tuned and watch the next session.